Alright, after going over the sphere, now we're going to go over a bright cone. So the formula for a cone is going to be, so for the volume, is 1/3 pi r squared. Notice pi r squared represents the area of the circle, and then we're going to times it by the height. So when I look at my triangle, or at my cone, my cone, here is the height, that's how high the cone is, and this is my radius of my circle. So I'm going to label that r. When I substitute these in, I'm going to have 1/3 pi r squared times the height is 10, and now all I need to do is enter that and calculate what the volume is. On 1 divided by 3 pi times 5 squared times 10 equals 261, and we are rounding to the hundredth. 261.79. That 9 runs that one up, which means that rounds the 7 to an 8.0 kilometers cubed for volume. Alright, here's my height, here's my radius. I substitute them in, 1/3 pi r squared times the height, one divided by 3 pi 12 squared times 24 equals 3,619.11, and the measurement is centimeters cubed. For our volume of a cone. Now we're going to continue the volume of a cone on the back, so I'm going to rewrite our formula for a cone. 1/3 pi r squared times the height. So now I'm going to go through. Here's my height, it's h. Oh, they gave me a diameter. That means since it's a diameter, I need to divide it so that I have r equals half of 8 is 4. Then I don't even need to use the 8. So 1/3 pi, I plug my r in, and I plug my h in. One divided by 3 pi 4 squared times 10 equals 167.55 centimeters cubed. I have my height, I have my radius, 1/3 pi r squared times the height equals 1 divided by 3 pi 8 squared times 16 equals 1072.33, and our measurement is in miles cubed because it is volume. For our next shapes, we now have cylinders. So these 4 up here are cylinders, which means the volume is pi r squared times the height. So basically what we're doing is we're finding the area of this circle with pi r squared, and then the height just raises it up and creates a volume. So I have pi, this is my r, 6 is my height, pi times r squared times the height equals pi times 8 squared times 6 is 1,206.37 feet cubed. We have our height is 3 for this cylinder, and our radius is 5. Pi r squared. I need to find how high this circle is going to be raised. It's raised 3 meters. So I have pi times 5 squared times 3 equals 235.6, this rounds up to a 2 meters cubed for the volume of that cylinder. I have a diameter, but I don't want a diameter, I want a radius, so I split the 18 in half to get 9, and here is my height. So the area of this circle will be pi r squared, and then to raise it up to create the volume, we times it by the height. Pi times 9 squared times 8 is 2,035.75 kilometers cubed. Last cylinder, we have our radius, we have our height, the area of the bottom of the base is pi r squared. Now because it's a volume, I need to multiply it by h, which is a 6. Pi times 3 squared times 6 equals 169.6. That 4 rounds up to a 5 centimeters cubed. Alright, our next shapes. These are prisms. And there's 2 types of prisms in this section. So I'm going to split them up. But these prisms have triangles for bases. These prisms have squares or a rectangle. So for a prism, to find the area of a prism,